there's a lot more open pathing opportunities that you can look at whenever you're looking at Rondo. Tego has that built-in bottleneck that happens with the water going right through the, I guess, the top quarter, or top quarter-ish of it. So that means that there's a lot more like designated paths that you have to go if you have to commit either north or south.
Well, they got to make their decision a little bit quicker this time around as the plane is crashing rapidly. But we are going from north to south, so it is going to leave pretty much the entire map open. We'll see how they play out around those bottlenecks, as you were mentioning. I think one of the big reasons that we saw Rondo be a little bit more calm, and we were talking about it while we were watching, is just the fact that we had pretty safe circles so far today. I mean, dead center on Rondo is probably about the best you could hope for.
Yeah, I mean, Rondo is already a pretty landmass heavy map in comparison to like Erangel and everything else, and it has the external water that's all around it on Erangel. Whenever we're looking back over into Rondo and you get a center circle, it just feels like you can pretty much do whatever you want in that area, right? Because there's no, you're not dealing with the water masses or the different trajectories that you could have to deal with in here. One of the things I do want to point out is notice that Navi's playing very far to the north, opposing around Shipyard, and Valley Tai is going to be playing over the eastern area on that one. They're not going to be interacting with each other too much, but that's a very interesting drop that Navi is playing so far north in this. Could be rewarded if the circle goes there, but again, if we see any of these teams very far in the north having to go down south, problems. And there you go.
There it is.
Circle's going to make it down to the south.
Well, I mean, you push your chips in the circle, or the center of the circle for something, and hope that maybe you get a little payoff in the form of a circle going up north. But now Navi, as you said, will have to come up with a plan to get down to the south. There are a lot of teams up on that northern island right now. And don't forget, E-Pickup's a big player here on Tego.
That's what I was actually about to talk about as well, is with this, there's the opportunity to use the emergency pickup, but a lot of the players talk about that they hate using it to come off of that northern island because you always feel like you're going to need it later on. I think that's what we saw back whenever we were here last year, is we saw a squad that was instantly used one, moved down to the south, and then the circle did a hard shift up to the north, and then suddenly they were just called out.
Yeah, it's a tough call to make, and that's the IGLs will be earning their paycheck here today as we wait and see how these guys decide to make their way across. Right now, checking in with Tiamba. Been liking the way the Tiamba has been playing so far today. It seems like they're opting for that more aggressive, let's go fight everybody, let's try to get kills. It didn't work out too great in the first two games. They slowed it down a little bit on the third game, and it paid off big.
Bro, you've got a guy on your squad named Pow Pow. You best be bringing some Pow Pows on the map, and that's kind of what we've been looking at. A couple of salvage positions coming out, getting some points off of kills, and then really capitalizing off of that. I mean, Falcons had themselves a very good game one, but been a bit more quiet. Donawa, though, I really was impressed with the way that they were navigating that game, too.
Yeah, they looked fantastic. And actually, I mean, game one even, despite the fact that it didn't really pay off too well, they only got, I think, 1 point off of it. But you could see that they were perfectly positioned, third partying. They were being aggressive when the moment was right. So, so far, so good for a lot of our Korean squads, which apparently I was told that the Korean squads were washed.
Oh, we going
by
there.
Some very brilliant minds this morning. But apparently that is not yet the case. The reports of the death of Korean PUBG have been greatly exaggerated, at least so far.
Well, I think a lot of that is people coming back and putting attention on Twisted Minds, right? They finally had their glow up. They finally got their victory.
Yeah.
And we saw them in a very, I guess, desperate position whenever we were looking at that last game.
Man.
Managing to fight their way over for the rock, as we saw Dustin was talking about. And this is a squad that we know navigates off of information, but when backs against the wall, they can really just start punching people down.
Look, you're talking about a team that's in 5th place right now, and they have had nothing but bad late game circles. They have had the worst possible luck. They've been knocked down to 2. Everything that could be thrown at them has been thrown at them. And it looks like right now they'll actually get in there as HSM is getting on out. But they still managed to get 5th place so far. So this is just classic Twisted Minds, right? It feels like even when their backs up are up against the wall, they're still able to put up points.
Well, this is a squad that just knows that they're going to be making it into the grand finals, right? Group stages, they're not where they're the most nervous or anything else. So whenever they get a couple of bad games, it's not going to tilt any of these squads off of it. And this squad is a squad that knows that they have the capabilities coming straight off of that win we were just talking about a second ago. I'm really curious, specifically, we saw Example have such a good firing range inside that last game. I mean, it just feels like they're coming more and more alive.
Yeah, I mean, before PGS3, I think the story with Twisted Minds was the fact that they were just kind of slow starters, right? It took them a little bit of time to get ramped up and kind of get in the mood and get in the flow of the game. Well, after PGS 3 and 4, it seemed like that went away. Like they were able to really kind of come out with guns blazing, and so far it looks the same.
I mean, that was always the thing about Twisted, right? Is they were the perpetual bridesmaid. They couldn't get that first place position, but now that the monkey's off of their back, I really want to see what this squad's capable of now. There's no more mythos back behind them. They finally got that victory. How are they going to choose to play around? I don't think that there's going to be a big mix-up in their play styles off of it, but at least now they can play a lot more comfortably without having that thing in the back of your head that's always just kind of eating away. Every player says that they can play around it and it doesn't exist, but let's be honest. We all know you get that stress. You always feel like you can't quite get there. Now they finally have. I want to see them start exerting some serious authority on this map.
Speaking of authority, we were wondering how Na'Vi was going to get across that river over from that northern island. It looked like Valley Thai had designs on doing a little bit of bridge camping, but they pay the price as they will lose one right off the bat. Now, Anonix is still up there with them as we check in with Team Falcons. Mr. Roth knocked a little bit low. 2-2 split right towards the center. Yep. They look pretty good about right now. Donawa, as you saw, said all three on the southern side, but they still have Anonix on that northern side of the island in Yongchan. I think he was maybe just keeping an eye on Na'Vi, seeing where they're going to go, feeding that information over. Yeah,
Navi's passing over that eastern bridge away from Yongzheng. And so now Valley Thai also has some positioning around them that's going to be, I guess, a bit more problematic, but Anonix should be able to regroup quite easily. But you can see Shrimzy's already down for Sonics, and this high ground advantage for the Freaks going to be big. Tiggs having himself some big plays today. Can he continue? He is absolutely popping heads right now.
He was so short on that, and H went in the perfect spot there. We'll find two. But Heaven will trade back on to Kickstart, so two down for Sonics. H-Win going to go down now as well, and it's all down to Tiggleton. But as you said, that boy has been on fire today.
Human with that reposition down to the bottom. Such a big play. Tiggs just trying to run for the hills right now. I mean, this was kind of back and forth there for a second, but that drop down with Human, getting into the position really allows him to open this back up, come up, get his players back up, and now Heaven's still trying to keep an eye. Tig looks like he might be thinking about coming back for this.
I mean, at this point, what do you got left to lose? And well-placed Blue Zone grenade will get 2 points. Actually, no, that's Human. Oh, no. What happened? And now Tiggleton will find Human. He'll make him pay.
Vengeance coming now as Tiggleton has spotted him out. Nade's going to be coming up. Heaven's still throwing on the opposing side of the rock. Doesn't quite have the position for what's going to be going on with Tig just quite yet. I can see that Tig also looks like he knows where the approach is going to be coming from. Heaven now playing up on that hill, leaning back over into the left side. He's still got eyes on the vehicle. Tig keeps playing the opposing side of the rock. And keep in mind, we also do have a couple of Sonics members down that could be feeding information over. Jumps in the vehicle, spray's coming out. Tig is trying to creep away from it. Can Heaven at least get the res on it? And no, Tig's going to jump back out.
Oh, Tiggleton wants all of this. He's trying to reposition so that he can get some utility on the other side of that rock, and he does so, but he takes a lot in return as Heaven will go for the res onto Human, try to turn this into a 2v1.
Mad's back up for Tiggleton. He's creeping forward. The res should come off any second. He should know that. Smoke's on one side of this one.
That's a bait smoke.
Yeah, just wants to make sure he's playing careful as possible. Ooh, nades are going to be lining pretty close. Get some damage in. Ooh, Heaven, does he know? Is the follow-up? That looks really, really good. Goes too far, though. And now Tiggleton's going to have to deal with the push coming out. 2 different angles. He's trying to peek around him. One down. Can he get the other one? Blue Zone on top of him now. Heaven got all of the life creeping up. Peek's about to come out any second. Goes for it. And it is going to be the Freaks that walk away heavily damaged, though.
Wow, that is such a great performance there by Heaven. But, man, the price you pay for trying to execute a bridge camp here in this incredibly stacked international lobby we have. I mean, Freaks had them dead to rights at the beginning. It was essentially a 2v1 against Tig, but Tig on fire right now. Unfortunately for Sonics, they will go out early. We'll see what Freaks can pull off here with just 2.
That was pretty much what all of the action that was going on inside of the circle. We do have a couple teams that are getting kind of close to each other. 17 Gaming Danawa kind of creeping up along the line. You can see the Day Trade also trying to maneuver down this hillside. They're going to have GG off to the east of them while they have FaZe up to the north. But this is what drew my eye just a moment ago. As you can see, Danawa was trying to move just a bit more to the south. They've got Tiamba over on playing the western point on the hillside, so not clean vision coming out from that one. It's really just going to be about 17 Gaming playing the low side of the hill to their east.
A lot of teams spreading out right now, trying to gain some information about what's going on around them. And so far, it's been pretty safe. You see a few shots being sent around. I think the only shots right now is New Happy shooting over towards Na'Vi is Ferris doing a little bit of sightseeing from the glider, but it's actually a little bit safer than you would think because of how they try to pilot the thing, right?
Yeah, that was one of the things a lot of players have been talking about, is that they often thought that the gliders were super weak because they were so fragile, but the sight lines, you get so used to spraying across a car and knowing the pathing for it, the up-down movements of the glider really throw off a lot of the spray patterns coming out from the players, and so therefore it gives you a bit more survivability than you would expect at this stage.
And Navi using all of it as well, as they have so much spread on the eastern side of that map. They'll be able to figure out where they want to go as we check in with now 4 a.m. as they're going to cut right in between of rotating Falcons. And I think that's the western edge of a 2-2 split from Twisted.
Falcons trying to figure out what they're going to do. Vehicles right back behind them. Looks like they might go for a stopover, and 4 a.m. going to continue on their pathing. Everybody moving down into these low dips that you've got kind of around the rice paddy area. Falcons just going to continue to harass, try to keep 4 a.m. away from them. Looks like 4 a.m. should be able to regroup, but TE is going to have some vision on this last bit of the rotation to at least get some harassment in. But, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Expendables 3 deep in the compound. They do have Delwyn playing just off to the east on the hillside, feeding intel over, but for now it seems like Falcons 4 a.m. playing in those ditches, in those rice paddies, should be fairly safe, although they are taking shots from the north from 17. See 4 a.m. on the other side there. Nobody really making any attempts to push over and get into utility range just yet.
The reason why so many of these squads are moving a bit awkwardly is that this is pretty centered. 4 a.m. I would say is probably the closest centered squad at the time, and so there's been a lot of jockeying for position around this area. 17 is also going to be playing to the north of 4 a.m.'s positioning, but pretty quiet circle, as it's just a couple of our extraneous teams that are just going to have to shift in a bit, and there is still some space for them. This is a pretty open circle, even though, yes, we do have Books and Saw in it. It's really just got a lot of these rice paddies taking up the middle and the southeast, so the hillsides are going to be where some problems come in. And what?
There is no
back on this one. I did not see that positioning that he was shooting from. That is crazy.
Oh, he almost got him too. Great stuff from Heaven. That is a scary, scary 1v1 situation right there when you know everything is falling on your shoulders. And Heaven managing to pull it off there. And so far, for the Expendables, looking really nice.
Chill, yeah.
Compound. Yeah, they're actually going to get rejoined by Delwyn as New Happy kind of made their way over to their hill just off to the east. So they'll just turtle up and play tower defense for the next foreseeable future.
So sad. I didn't gonna make a joke around your "there is no war in Sansa." Man, that one was good. Respect. All right, Tiamba trying to creep back in together while Daytrade's making their rotation. Keep in mind, Daytrade doesn't want to go any further south due to Cerberus playing the hillside, posing point on it. So Tiamba with this 2-2 split could be biting off a bit more. They do have the ridge lines to play from, but it's a bit scary over here.
Yeah, but they won it. And
Yeah.
this is the way that Tiamba's been playing so far this tournament, is that if they feel like they have an advantageous position and they have somebody pressed up against the wall here, they will definitely be the aggressors. And Daytrade not revealing themselves just yet. They have some hard cover to play around, so it's not going to be the easiest fight for Tiamba if they take it, but Flash might be rolling into the bad spot here.
Creeping forward, this is kind of a game of leapfrog, just trying to get more open angles away from each other. Flash, being very separated away from his teammates, wants to see if maybe he can force something. Thanadol is also going to try to exploit. Look at this shift in, right? They moved Flash up to the north, draw attention, and now they're shifting more into the east. With this setup, though, there's only 2 members of Tiamba, so they can't control both of those territories.
Oh, and Linshu actually just going to send it as soon as he hears the engine. He'll go and secure that point, but can he get back to the rest of the team? He did get spotted out by Belmoth, but they've got to be concerned about where they're going to go next, as he saw the circle popping way off to the east here.
We're just going to continue to go into that point we were looking at just a moment ago with 4 angry men. So if you're playing on the edge, it's just going to get a bit more dangerous. We've got the hillsides that are going to be where you can see Daytrade kind of creeping into, but there's not really good pathing on that one, as we do already have Cerberus along that line, as well as FaZe that should be getting vision any moment.
The one thing they've got going for him right now is that Cerberus isn't really set up for anything. They try to make the push, but FaZe has spotted them out, Dono has spotted them out, so they're still on the move, they're still repositioning, so that might open up a little bit of a window here for Daytrade to get in. But you can see FaZe very split as well, just to the west of Bucks and Saw, so they see kind of everything that's going off to their north and to their west, but I don't think that they have enough position, enough eyeballs, enough guns pointed over in that direction to really do any damage here.
This is a great game for glider play, by the way, because it is so flat, and you can see down inside those divots. That's usually one of the problems in this rotation, is you don't know if somebody's kind of playing down in that low section with the barriers in front of them. Now you can kind of fly over, spot on enemy vehicles, as Downaway is going to try to get something out, and yes, they are going to get the knock onto CC. Big
shots there from Loki, and that's a big knock on a player that's been having a pretty good tournament so far in CC 108. And now Tiamba Pau has been sent way, way far south. He made it through first, and now the rest of Tiamba now in a bad spot as they're getting spotted by Cerberus and the Expendables. They're going through the APAC gauntlet, but fortunately they started shooting at each other and stopped shooting at Lin Shu, so it looks like he'll survive.
54 alive, probably not going to be that way for too much longer. It is just too compressed, specifically with the hillside that's in the middle, those flatlands we were talking about just a second ago with the rice paddies. So that means that it's just going to be a cluster running into it. Tiamba going to continue this pathing in. Looks like they have eyes kind of set around where Falcons are going to be at. Shift to the road, now going to separate away from each other. This just shows they don't know anywhere that they can go. They're coming into this one blind, and they are just getting picked apart.
Just no intel, and really unfortunate for them, but I mean, this is their best option, really, is Pau going to try to survive a little bit longer. Falcons, meanwhile, can't stay looking in one direction for that long, as now Xiaowu find Pau. The shots coming through. They're not finding the man, but they find the car. Car will explode, but Pau will survive at least a little bit longer, but Xiaowu, he's sending it. He wants that. He's got a grenade in hand. That could be an easy knock. And flush is a good bounce. Oh, no, a bad bounce. It actually pulled
that bounced off of him?
I don't know if it did. That was a weird line, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looked like it potentially bounced off his hitbox, so shifted
like
it back away from
bounced off the rock and then bounced off his helmet and bounced far enough away.
Helmet coming in, saving lives there.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
That's going to be a frustrating one when they look back on this. The 17's going to be like, why didn't that nade hit? Well, that's probably, sometimes PUBG be like that.
Sometimes it do. Well, the circle does shift off to the east, so that's going to be good news for a number of our teams that are already set up there. Falcons 4 a.m. Na'Vi trying to go for the hillside here, but they are spotted out by New Happy. And New Happy will get an initial knock, but fortunately for Na'Vi, they won't be able to get the flush on the Hakatori. But Sosid going to get spotted.
This is the fight for all of the high ground right now. Cerberus creeping in, getting more and more out of it, but Himas is going to go down. Duck Maya also looking on the opposing angle for it. 2 members up for Cerberus right now, looking into a very weakened Na'Vi, but Na'Vi keeps standing on the line. Diffx just built different. Going to go ahead and take him down, and now Na'Vi has the high ground.
Fairest with a beautiful grenade and saving the squad, saving the boys there. As now they'll get that res, they'll get back up to full, or 3 strong at least, but the Expendables also sending it now as we check in with FaZe trying to make it through Donawa, as there's just Nox players falling all over the place in these fields.
Oh, FaZe, this rotation is going to be scary. They at least managed to get in there pretty quick. You can see Donawa was already looking at this position, entirely flanked around them. Only the south, the only option that they had to move through, so they are slowly fighting their way through it, but there is some cover to be had at least. This pumps the brakes on Donawa, though. They have no clean options on how to move into the circle at the time.
Sure don't, and they've got to make the decision pretty quickly. Now, there is some space off to the north, but it's a question of if they can get everybody over there, but Akari will get spotted out by Suju as that Alm is singing across the north side.
They're coming down that hillside, just means that everybody that's already in the low ground has so much vision on approach. FaZe trying to thin this one up. Car eats a lot of damage on that one. Gustav going to have to step away. Same time, Loki's also going to take down Fex. More pressure coming in the angle, but that's going to be it. Corexi does manage to hold, and now FaZe gets control of the west.
There you go, Corexi. 3 kills now for the boy, and he's going to go ahead and pull Fex back into the shack, get a nice res off there. It looks like 17 was having thoughts about maybe coming down here as they saw that knock in the kill feed, but they're just going to look. Meanwhile, Freaks down to 2, just Heaven and Human playing from that southwest. They have some room to work with, just depends on how observant the Expendables are, and actually Gaming Gladiators down there as well.
Yeah. Control areas that we're looking at. Center is going to be 4 Angry Men at the time, but then to the north, 17 Gaming has really bit off a huge chunk of the north that they're playing around with control on. Tag teaming that on the other side to the east is going to be Twisted Minds. They've got Valley Tide's going to be in between them, and you can see that they're really asserting a lot of authority onto this. Down to the south, though, we have New Happy that's got pretty much the only compound that's in this entire thing. There's a shack here or there, but they've got the only firm compound, while GG is going to be kind of moving into that hillside that we just saw a second ago that Na'Vi took the fight to, and they're going to be rewarded for it. Man, that hillside's going to be money in this circle.
Absolutely is, but New Happy's still happy, and the Expendables, their compound still has a little bit of a corner in, but it looks like they're Going to go ahead and leave that, try to rejoin with Delwyn, but I don't know if they realize that they've got KDF down there. They've got Gaming Gladiators. Delwyn now kind of stuck on an island as Levante and the gang will spot him out, try to take a few shots, and it looks like KDF's going to get spotted now as well.
Anything right now, it's the problem, right? When you get the high ground, you get the advantage. We talk about it a lot, but that also means that you're the profile. Everybody is looking up on the hillside. They know that that's going to be the control point. So really, GG has any struggles if they go for a peek. It's just going to be shots coming right back at them. The north, though, is what concerns me, as we're going to have a lot of big shifts. FaZe going to have to move. 17 going to have to move. Valley Tie, Twisted, even yes, they can kind of condense in. There's a little small area that they might play for, but that's only if they're playing for safety. All the other squads really going to have to make some type of desperation move, and nothing is clean in this.
Yeah, I feel for Twisted right now. They've got a lot of strength right now, as they have just been kind of playing that eastern edge. They've got a crate drop as well, so they're pretty strong right now, but they just can't spot anybody. So we'll see what happens. Gustav will make it to Fex.
Deliver
Fex
right
just
there.
Finds it's like, hey, knock guy, just right on top of him.
Just driving up. It's like, rest me, bro. Wait, you're not down. Oh, wait, you are down. Okay, 17 Gaming going to make it a harassment problem for FaZe, but 17 Gaming. The problem with this is the longer they stay here, it's kind of denying them out. This is that mutually assured destruction that can sometimes happen. Just go for kill points because you assume that you might lose the entirety of your squad on any rotation.
Well, they need some points right now.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is about as free as they can hope for, and try to get the flushes if they can, and they'll at least manage to pull 3. But the question, where are you going to go? Is 4 a.m. as you saw spread out a little bit better now. Is Epion kind of playing point on that northern side? They're going to go right for the crate, right for the ridge line here. As Valley Tie, they are in trouble as well. Twisted Minds was just waiting for this.
Two squads moving at the exact same time. Valley Tie getting a lot of the attention thrown in their direction. That kind of opened up the opportunity for 17 Gaming. Valley Tie, though, not going to stop. They want to get to this hillside. They realize the strength of position. They're going to send it up. And due to the fact that GG having to play the opposing point on the hill for safety, they're going to get it. Well, some of them.
Yeah, some of them. Most of them. It was 2 out of 3. Ain't bad. As we see Twisted did manage to lose Batu in that kerfuffle a little bit earlier. Here's 4 a.m. now. Zepion will go down. HSM and Bobo, the last 2 remaining. They're going to fight their way through the smoke cloud. 17 still have utility in hand and utility to spare as they're going to continue throwing grenades where they think that Bobo might be running around. Unfortunately, none of them are going to hit him, and he's got the happy feet, and they are keeping him alive.
Well, he's going to need a lot of happy feet as Falcons hears this. They're going to be walking up right back behind 4 angry men. HSS in some trouble. Bobo's at least got some smoke to play from. Yep, Falcons going to continue to rein it in. HS already down, and this is a big problem for 4 angry men. 17 on one side of it, Falcons on the other, picking them apart.
This is going to be real interesting. There's that little, that spot where 4 a.m. is, and everybody on that northern side would like to play that and not have to make their way across the road just yet. Although the Expendables is going to send it south. They're going to try to clean out that hillside. So we'll see. That might open up some space to get people across the road, but Twisted Minds has 2 looking in that direction right now. So they'll have to have some smoke clouds ready and waiting.
All right, so you can see 4 angry men just trying to chain res. That's all they can really do. Finally puts them out of their misery. Falcons now going to have to figure out how they're going to contend with 17 Gaming. There is some space to play, but remember, this road is just going to be a thorn in both these squad sides. Falcons say, you know, best solution for this one, keep the press going, keep the push forward. There's been a lot of shots exchanged on this one. It's not a bad idea. 17 Gaming's wanting to make a move here in just one moment. They're going to have to deal with the Expendables, also moving just to the south of them, opposite side of the road.
Yeah, Expendables need to make a decision here. They keep trying to cheat towards the south, maybe take on GG, but then they pull back as soon as they run into somebody. And now they've got everybody back towards the compound, and now they are in full line of sight of Gaming Gladiators and 17. So a little bit of paralysis through analysis here from the Expendables.
Well, Ghost is going to take down Roth in that firefight, creeping forward, but Rello's going to be the bigger problem right up next to him. Nate doesn't go far enough, does get some damage, but just enough to be scary. Rest of the squad's kind of slowed down. You can see they're trying to figure out how they want to deal with Roth going down on this one. Pacing, not a big problem right now. They've got some time to work with. It's just the pressure coming up from 17 Gaming. They were taking those shots down on Expendables, so now Expendables are focused back into 17 Gaming, so they can't really peak the way that 17 wants to. A couple of nades going to come out. That's going to be about it for right now, but notice the other duo, 4 Falcons, playing very far away, making sure that they cover that hillside so nobody can creep up for 17.
There's going to be another thorn thrown in the side of that as Twisted Minds has made their way to the south side of the road. KDF will get eliminated there by Delwyn. The Expendables now fully engaged with Gaming Gladiators. They're getting a little bit of third party from Valley Tie, and on the backside of GG, New Happy starting to creep over in that direction as well. So two four-way fights going on, one on the north side, one on the south side.
I mean, 17 Gaming loves that. I mean, TE is now getting just decimated down there. I mean, GG is doing so much work for 17 Gaming right now as they can firmly line up directly against the Falcons. Falcons are trying to figure out if they want to regroup entirely. They are going to be sending Snakers over to kind of make play around this angle. Peek's now starting to come out for 17 Gaming. They've got the relieved angles to play from. Little Ghost is going to get a knock on the Roth yet again. Falcons coming apart at the seams right now. That push not working for Murillo. Trying to make something. Picks up a couple, though.
Goes in there with the bullet hose, and that's all you need. Suju, the last one alive, inside the smoke. He's going to try to go for the res here as the blue zone grenade is going to find him. Just on the edge.
Wow. That is as close as you could possibly get to that blue zone nade, man.
And is a little bit of a butterfly flapping its wings. They were so fortunate right now because Twisted Minds took a knock from New Happy, and you can see that Twisted Minds was in a perfect position to take advantage of Falcons here, but they just can't make the push. And although they're back on their feet and they're sending it over here, good grenade from Flood will take out 17.
Circle does move south of the road now. Well, it's got a bit of the road in it, but really no more of the rice paddy is going to be in play. Hillside's still going to have a section of it. The Valley Tie is going to be trying to hold on to. New Happy's up on the top of it. They're about to have to deal with Gladiators in just one moment. Twisted Minds, the only squad that's pretty comfortable right now, but really this firing line building up down to the south. 3 squads. It's about to come alive with the sound of bullets.
Okay, this could be huge here. It's New Happy and GG. New Happy going to go for the res on their knocked player, try to get back up to full strength, and Valley Tie at any moment could get involved in this as well. As you see, they are inside circle, they're inside zone, but they want to wait and strike at the perfect moment when both of these teams are at their weakest.
2 squads really needing some points, and New Happy and the Gladiators. See that they're kind of juking around this position. Valley Tie keeping some eyes on them, not wanting to pounce just quite yet. They really want to exploit an opportunity, but so much smoke already coming down, creating a barrier, allowing New Happy to kind of creep a bit more, and that's kind of created the new focal point becoming Valley Tie. The guys that were wanting to third-party everything now find themselves potentially sandwiched. Well, not really sandwiched, but more, I guess, just the pinnacle of a funnel.
Well, Valley Tie, they have not taken a shot. They have not taken a step in about 3 circles right now. They're just trying to survive right now as Falcons trying to see if they can find a way to get across the road. Now, Twisted Minds have sent Lou down to the south, and it looks like he's been spotted out by Rello and Snakers, but they've left Perfectix an example to hold the line.
This is such a good read coming out from Twisted. They heard the firefights. They're going to shift in, get right up against the wall itself, looking over on the street. No cover on the street, so if we see anybody come out, it's going to be a big problem. I like this. Falcons go, okay, can't make the push here. Maybe some vehicles can get something out of it. Valley Tie is going to get eliminated. New Happy is going to get control of the north. Falcons just going to send it down south, roughly the same time that GG is starting to take some shots into New Happy. It's going to be right back behind GG. The shift's coming up from Falcons. They're going to make a stopover. Shots still coming out from Twisted Minds. They couldn't continue their rotation. Now GG hears it. They're going to shift in. Beautiful angles to work from, but Falcons somehow, some way staying alive.
It's a great decision-making and great timing from Falcons to make it up the hill, but unfortunately for them, GG was just right in the middle of making that rotation. So there you go. Levante will get spotted by Roth. They're going to go down, but New Happy back on their feet. Twisted Minds has angles on Falcons as they're trying to go for both of these reses. The new zone pops. Twisted Minds owns the entire circle.
And all of these angles to work from, man. They've got Lou so far to the south, like you were talking about a moment ago. Zample to the north. Falcons, I don't think that they got a chance to really get anything off of any of the firefights, the corpses that we saw just a moment ago from 17 Gaming. So they're probably coming in pretty tattered. I mean, we saw a lot of knocks coming out while they were fighting around the rice paddies. This is just going to be... I don't know. They're going to have to hit some crazy shots, most notably onto Example. Example is their problem right now. If they can at least get him down, they can find something to work with while Lou is distracted with what's going on with New Happy.
Lou and Perfectix now focusing solely on the New Happy while Example's job is just taking shots over towards Falcons. He'll find some damage, won't be able to get another knock, so Falcons might be able to get back up to 3 strong. Looks like they will. New Happy now down to 1 as Twisted Minds are just dominating right now.
Man mode, just stepping into this like, no, this is all mine. You can have nothing. Oh, that is massive. Ming still trying to find something here. He can't quite find an angle onto it. Perfectix down. Lou, the last one up, trying to navigate this. Wants to see if he can get some more. The weakened Falcons now starting to flank down in the south. They're spotting out what's going on. Ming. They're going to take him down. And now it is all just down to 1 member for Twisted Minds versus the 3-man of the Falcons that they picked up 11 kills right now, trying to make it 12, probably about to be 13. What can Lou do? He's running down. Looks like he wants to try to go for a res. This might make him spotted, though.
See, I think Falcons reading that situation, but they don't have a read on exactly where Perfectix is. That knock came through from New Happy, so they will get him back on his feet. So now we'll pick to a 3v2. Falcons doing their best to spread out wide, still maintain that cover. Rello going to play around that portable cover here. Spots lose head, so at least he knows where one is, but Perfectix has pulled back a little bit.
The pacing on this slowing down is extremely beneficial. You can see meds ticking back up, getting everybody back to full health. That really gives advantage to the three-man squad in this situation. Picking from the little cover that they've got. Yes, Twisted Minds has the rock, but that means that they're both playing right next to each other. Circle is going to be just to the north, I guess, west of where we see Twisted Minds Perfectix playing from. So Falcons are going to have to move a bit further forward, but it's going to be Flood, the first player, that's going to have to move.
The Flood's a big component into this. If Twisted doesn't spot out Flood early enough, they might be the thing that wins it for him. But it looks like Lou is going to see him. Flood takes the shots over in that direction. Not going to find any damage though. So now Twisted Minds is aware of where both sides of this split are, but good shots from Flood. Good eyes will spot out Perfectix.
Now back down to just Lou. He's got himself the rock. Multiple members of Falcons, multiple angles he has to defend from. He was the guy that was closer to the blue zone as well. He's got to fight his way through it. Snakers still just playing along this tree line, knows exactly where he is, and you can see both angles just firmly entrenched. Twisted Minds in third place right now, wants to make it more. Falcons wanting to really cement in a good position on that first place. Lou does manage to take down Flood. Snakers has gotten right up on top of him. Lou's still looking out in the distance. What is Snakers going to do? Is he going to go for the peek around the rock? Is he just going to try to wait it out? That is going to be a flush. Going on to Flood. At least one more point secured for Twisted Minds. Here comes the push. Snakers walks up. Oh. Quick exchange. He does go down, but Falcons still had one member up. They pick the win.
And Falcons not wanting to take the risk of